It was a chilly winter morning. Donald Trump was traveling through New York City in his car, heading to a meeting. The air was crisp and the streets were bustling with people rushing to their destinations. Suddenly, something caught his eye. At a street corner, sitting on the sidewalk, was a man wrapped in a torn military jacket and a frayed blanket. Beside him was a cardboard sign with bold letters, "I am a veteran. Please help." Trump immediately instructed his driver to stop. Turning to his security detail, he said, "I want to know who he is." He stepped out of the vehicle. The icy wind hit his face. He walked toward the man, drawing curious glances from passers-by. The man flinched slightly as Trump approached, but remained seated. In a gentle voice, Trump asked, "Hello, what's your name?" The man looked up hesitantly and replied in a hoarse voice, "My name is John. John Miller." Trump knelt down to John's level, meeting his eyes with a calm and empathetic gaze. "Tell me your story, John," he said softly. John tucked his trembling hand into his worn-out blanket. He took a deep breath, then began in a tired, shaky voice. "I'm a veteran. I joined the military when I was 22. I served in Afghanistan. We faced unimaginable challenges every day. I lost friends. I fought to survive. But the hardest part wasn't what happened over there. It was coming home and realizing nothing was the same." Trump listened intently, his expression reflecting the weight of John's words. "I was badly injured during a mission," John continued. "A blast took my friends. I can never forget that moment. I got medical treatment, but my soul never healed. My family abandoned me. They said I was a burden. I lost my job, then my home. One day I just ended up on the streets." Tears streamed down John's face. "People walk past me like I don't exist. I once fought for this country. Now it feels like no one even sees me." Trump's expression grew more serious, visibly moved by every word. John gripped his blanket tighter, his voice cracking. "Last winter, a man next to me froze to death while we were sleeping on the sidewalk. He was a Vietnam veteran. I called the police, but it was too late. What scares me the most is, one day that could be me." He looked up at Trump, eyes full of pain. "I gave everything for this country. Now I have nothing. Sometimes, I wonder why I even survived." Trump took a deep breath, visibly shaken. Then he said firmly but gently, "John, a man like you should never be in this situation. You gave your life to serve this country, and this country has failed you. That must change, and I promise you it will." John stared at Trump, a glimmer of hope in his expression. "Really? You'd do this? For me?" "Yes, John. You fought for this country. Now this country needs to fight for you. This is just the beginning. The darkness ends here." Tears of hope streamed down John's face. This wasn't just a helping hand. It was a lifeline. Trump pulled out his phone and called his assistant. "Book the nearest hotel. Get a doctor on site." Then turning to his bodyguard, "Get him a hot meal. Right away." Sitting back down next to John, Trump placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're going to take care of you now." Minutes later, the bodyguard returned with a steaming bowl of soup and a sandwich. John hesitated, then took a bite. His eyes filled with tears. "It's been so long since I've had something warm to eat." Trump stayed with him, offering words of encouragement. An hour later, a black SUV arrived. Trump gently helped John into the vehicle and brought him to the hotel. There, John was given a warm shower, clean clothes, and a soft bed. For the first time in years, he felt human again. A doctor arrived to examine him. A plan was put in place for his care. The next morning, Trump met John at breakfast. "John," he said with a smile, "I've put together a plan. There's an organization called Veterans United. They help homeless veterans rebuild their lives. I'm connecting you with them, and I'll personally cover all your expenses for the first year." John's eyes widened. "Really? You're doing this for me?" "Yes, John. You served this country. Now it's time for this country to serve you." Later that day, John met with a representative from Veterans United. They discussed housing, job training, and counseling services. Trump handed John a check from his foundation to cover immediate needs. "This feels like a miracle," John whispered, choking up. I never thought my life could change this quickly. As Trump prepared to leave, he turned to John. One day you'll have the chance to help someone else. The world gets better when we lift each other up. John, now tearful but full of resolve, replied, I promise. I'll pay it forward. The story closes with scenes of John starting his new life, moving into a safe home, preparing for work, and smiling with hope. He now had a place to call home, a purpose, and a renewed sense of dignity. This was proof that one act of kindness can transform a life forever. If this story moved you, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories. Together, let's spread hope and kindness.